Hey guys and gals, what's going on? It's G-Meister here, and welcome to a Kingdom Hearts lore story breakdown type of thing. A little bit ago, I posted a community post out on my channel asking people if they have any questions about the Kingdom Hearts lore and anything I could do to help answer those questions, or, you know, anything like that, really. And one person, Nicholas Green, like the color, excuse me, sorry, asked me to break down the Xemnas cutscene in Dream Drop Distance. Just the entire fucking scene. And honestly, I think this is actually a very valid request, because this cutscene is known to be pretty convoluted. It dumps a lot of information on you. Some people believe it introduces the retcons into the series, and it's so much information taken at once between time travel, Nobodies having hearts and everything like that. And yeah, it is a lot to take in. So I'm gonna be sitting here through the cutscene, breaking it down, and I'll be interjecting at certain points to help explain some lore and, you know, some confusion and everything like that. So strap on in and let's get some popcorn. Enjoy. Let's watch it together. So what's happening here is Sora is going deeper into slumber right now. He's currently chasing his dreams, which are like the pain that's residing within his heart, whether that be people like Roxas, Xion, and Ventus, or, you know, his own pain, like with losing Riku and Kairi in the past and everything.
Riku! Kairi! I found you!
They're gonna morph into Terra and Aqua, you know, for Ven.
Who?
Ven.
Ven.
Huh? Huh?
Once again, chasing after Riku and Kairi.
What is going on?
In Riku's story at the moment, and timeline-wise, Riku is currently reached Sora. He's just like, Sora, you gotta wake up. Sora, because the organization that when Sora landed at the world that never was, plunged him into a double sleep of sorts. So, you know, that's currently what you're playing through and experiencing through Sora right now. That's reality around Sora.
Wait!
The cutscene from Birth by Sleep where Sora and Riku meet Aqua. Sora's heart is projecting this to him as a memory from when he was a child, so he doesn't really remember it quite that well, as he states in Kingdom Hearts 3 later.
What?
Yeah, then there's Xehanort to prevent him from waking up. Yep, and he's going right back into the dream right there. Riku couldn't wake him up. There he is. Now we're in the real part people probably find complicated. Basically, from this moment onwards, a lot of people always complain about this scene because there's so much information being relayed to you. And, you know, I get it completely. The game is definitely backloaded in terms of, like, the lore distribution and the story content. Like, this is literally taking place right before the final boss of Sora's half of Dream Drop. And most of Dream Drop has been kind of confusing because of the whole Dream Eaters and the Dream World concept and everything. But this right here is where people really start complaining. So I'll break it down as we go.
Whoopsie daisy. Wasn't easy putting you into a second sleep, and he almost woke you up.
He being Riku.
So then, all that stuff I just saw, did you put that in my head?
No. That wasn't stuff. It was a dream. The falling asleep part was definitely our bad. But we can't put stuff in your head. Hey, I got an idea. Ask your heart. See if it's got a clue.
Well, my heart was aching.
His heart was aching. He was feeling pain of those that were residing within his heart. Like, Ventus, Roxas, Xion. The three characters that reside within Sora's heart. He was feeling their pain and experiencing them through the dream. Their hearts were projecting their trauma into Sora's dream as he sleeps. So, yeah, that's kind of simple to understand, but it's also a concept that Recoded actually tackled, was Data Sora, being the idea of pain. Is Sora ready to deal with that pain, that aching, that hurt, as that game put it? So Sora's calling it aching here. It was referred to as hurt in Recoded, and in that game, Data Sora conquered his pain. But that was just a test to see if the real Sora would be ready. And then Dream Drop immediately follows up on that idea with the plotline of Sora not being able to cope with all that pain, not being able to understand it, and being overwhelmed by it, thus falling into darkness and soon into Xehanort's clutches, needing to be rescued by Riku and the others.
That's why I kept going.
Oh, thank you, Sora's heart, for pushing him right into our clutches. Aren't hearts great? Steer us wrong every time.
This right here, we're about to get into a bombshell.
You know, right? Because you all have hearts.
They all have hearts. It's true. So a lot of people believe this is a retcon right here of previously established lore from like Chain of Memories and Kingdom Hearts 2, where the organization members, the Nobodies, don't have hearts, as they clearly stated several times throughout Chain of Memories and KH2, right? They even say in 358. However, it's soon to be revealed in this cutscene that that was just Xemnas gaslighting the previous organization into thinking they didn't have hearts after they lost their hearts when they became separated into Heartless and Nobodies, right? It was just Xemnas gaslighting and Xehanort gaslighting to hook up 13 vessels up to Kingdom Hearts, the one made of hearts of man and everything, to fill them with his essence, his heart. But after this, as they will explain in this cutscene, after the removal of the heart in the body will seek to replace the heart. And with the special Nobodies, like the organization members, they will grow back that heart by experiencing things around them, whether it be friendship, pain, agony, general feelings they would feel through life. We've been seeing Nobodies that supposedly are empty shells and have no hearts express emotion all the way since their first appearance back in Chain of Memories. Larxene was kind of bitchy, Marluxia expressed his for power, and Vexen was having his will for his experiments, and Axel was like playing kind of double-crossing everybody and going up for his own gain with Sayax and, well, the organization and everything. Betrayal. So they've been expressing emotion since Chain of Memories. And this isn't really a retcon. It's just the game defining what we see, what that we've been seeing on screen. If anything, it didn't make sense that they didn't have hearts, because they were expressing emotion the entire time. So, you know. And also, you know, 358 in itself is just a testament to proving this true, with Roxas, Axel, and Xion's journey into learning about emotion and hearts and friendship and everything. It's quite beautiful how an empty shell like Roxas grew into the character that he was.
Axel, and Roxas,
You see, even Sora spitting, dude.
and Naminé, and that other girl. I felt what Roxas felt. And they laughed together, got mad, and they grieved. You have to have a heart to cry.
Exactly.
It's about time you notice.
Me at the entire fucking Kingdom Hearts fandom right now. It's not a retcon, chat. It's really not. It makes a lot of sense in retrospect. And by the way, I say chat because I'm a streamer. My bad.
Indeed. A heart is never lost for good. There may have been variances in our dispositions, but a number of us unquestionably showed signs of a burgeoning replacement.
Yep.
Once born, the heart can also be nurtured. Our experiments creating Heartless were attempts to control the mind and convince it to renounce its sense of self. But understand, one can banish the heart from the body, but the body will try to replace it the first chance it gets, for as many times as it takes. And so I knew, even after we were divided into Heartless and Nobodies, it was just a temporary separation.
Because the body, once it loses the heart, becomes an empty husk. But that empty husk starts interacting with the world around it. It starts learning things. It's almost like a newborn, kind of, you know? Walking around like, ooh, wow, that me stubbing my toe, that gives me pain. Why do I feel pain? That pain makes me feel emotion. And then that emotion grows into other things and other experiences. It is literally almost like a newborn baby, just learning the world around it and growing a heart, you know? A heart in Kingdom Hearts isn't like a organ exactly. It's more like a metaphysical concept kind of thing, except it is a physical thing inside the characters' bodies. But it mostly contains their personality, their experiences, their heart, if you would, you know? It's interesting.
Why then? Why did you lie to them and tell them they had no heart?
Because Xemnas is gaslighting, gatekeeping, and girl bossing, okay? He was literally just like, you have no hearts. I need you to be part of my plan. To get Kingdom Hearts, so that we can all have our own hearts. When in reality, they all grew back their own hearts over time, and were just seeking a lost cause. The real cause they were looking for is just under Xehanort's clutches to hook them up to Kingdom Hearts, the heart of man, by collecting the hearts from the Heartless, you know, like in 358 and Kingdom Hearts 2, and hooking the 13 vessels up to Kingdom Hearts and filling them all with Xehanort's hearts, so he can do his plan that he originally sought out to do with the Keyblade back in Birth by Sleep, or what we're gonna see in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Hearts!
Xemnas and Xehanort formed the organization for a specific reason. Round up a bunch of empty husks, hook them up to Kingdom Hearts, then fill them all with the exact same heart and mind. Translation? They were gonna turn all the members into Xehanort.
Make more Xehanorts? You tricked your friends to... But you, aren't you scared of just turning into someone else?
Me? I'm already half Xehanort.
The announcement of, you know, Xigbar being half Xehanort for like a very long time is actually something I believe Nomura planned since like probably Birth by Sleep. When you first encounter Braig in BBS as Terra, he has normal ears, he has his normal eye color, and Terra just goes up against him because Xehanort recruited him to, you know, get the darkness out of Terra, to manipulate him. And then the next time you see Braig in BBS, after he gets the eye patch and everything, after, you know, Terra shoots darkness out his eye, he's Norted. He's essentially Norted, which just involves Xehanort putting a piece of his own heart into another person. just so that he holds influence over them. Now Bragg did that originally, because, oh, I want the old Coot's keyblade, and everything like that. Why does he want the keyblade? Because he's Lushu. And what is Xehanort's keyblade? The Master of Masters keyblade. That's a big spoiler for Kingdom Hearts 3, but I assume if you're watching a lore breakdown video, I'm pretty sure you would probably already kind of know that, and if not, you do now. So, yeah, Bragg has been Xehanort ever since after the encounter with Terra, in BBS, so that's very interesting.
That's nuts!
Fucking love That's Nuts, by the way. I'm sorry, this isn't part of the lore or anything, but that's like something we have on my stream as a sound alert you guys can redeem using channel points. It's so funny.
However, through weakness of body, weakness of will, or weakness of trust, most of the original members we had chosen for the organization were inadequate. Thus, naturally, they never had a chance to attain their goal.
By them being inadequate, that just means, you know, Marluxia, Larxene betrayed them in Castle Oblivion, you know, Sora and Riku took out a bunch of members there, and then, you know, the entire events of 358 happened, Roxas betrays the organization, and then Kingdom Hearts 2 happens, and Sora takes out the rest of the organization. So, yeah, that's what he means by that.
Yet, even this was to be expected. We have learned of the heart's folly, and we have achieved our other goals. This last excursion has proven to be a worthy closing assignment for the organization.
Because after this, in Kingdom Hearts 3, they become the quote-unquote true Organization 13 for Xehanort to have 13 vessels of darkness to fight against the 7 Guardians of Light in Cage 3. And by the way, this to be expected is like foreshadowing the whole time travel thing where everything is destined and etched into Xehanort's heart and everything like that. How time travel works is you have to separate your body from your heart. You can send your heart to a different time period as long as there's another version of you present there. And then once you get done with whatever business you have going on there, you get sent back to your current body and time, but you lose your memory of those events, but your heart has it etched into it that you remember. So it's kind of sending you on a destined path. Kind of like how young Xehanort appears here, and then will be sent back to his time to go live out his days in Dark Road and become the man that is known as Master Xehanort, and, you know, Xemnas and Ansem and Terranort and all of his other forms. That's very confusing, I know, but basically, separate the heart from the body. Heart can time travel to a different destination as long as there's another version of itself there. It does whatever business it needs to do, then it goes back. And then, you know, loses his memory because you can't remember the time travel, but your heart has etched the destined path that you need to take to go achieve what you need to do. Kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Just stop it! You treat people's hearts like bottles on a shelf, but they're not.
Love the Sora moment.
Hearts are made of the people we meet, and how we feel about them. They're what ties us together even when we're apart. They're what make me strong.
Duh. You're strong because of the ties you have with other people. As if the Keyblade would choose a wimp like you. But no pouting. We see much bigger and better things in your future once you side with us.
Again, they're trying to turn Sora into a vessel for Xehanort. Originally, they were going to make Riku the 13th vessel for Xehanort for the true organization. But Riku, throughout his character arc over the years, has grown a tolerance to darkness. He has learned, unlike a lot of other characters, like Terra before him, unlike him, he learned to balance light and darkness. He learned to walk the road to dawn. He learned to, like, be able to control darkness, no longer let it consume him, but he's allowed to use it. He learned how to weaponize it. It took him a very long time to do so, but it's a balance that he had to learn how to do, because you need both light and darkness. You can't just have one without the other. But that doesn't mean you can let one consume you over the other. You gotta find a balance, just like Riku did. And that's actually what Xehanort achieves to do with his Grandmaster plan here. Unlock Kingdom Hearts and use it to create a new world where light and darkness are in perfect balance. No, not one consuming over the other.
I know the Keyblade didn't choose me, and I don't care. I'm proud to be a small part of something bigger. The people it did choose. My friends, they are my power!
Very iconic, very wholesome. Very interestingly, they have Mickey's BBS model here, rather than his Cage 2 model, which is very interesting. He's even got Starkeeper right there, which is very strange. But you know, I guess it makes sense. Now, I mean, since the BBS characters are there, I have no idea. One thing that's very interesting to point out here is that we actually don't see Axel here. That's interesting. But despite the fact that, you know, I mean, I guess he's not a Keyblade wielder yet, but you can't even make that excuse. Because, like, you know, we have Donald and Goofy here. So, I don't know. Maybe he's not considered a Guardian of Light yet until he rescues Sora. Who knows? Another thing to talk about here is what Sora meant by, like, oh, I know the Keyblade didn't choose me and I don't care. Terra bequeaths the ability to wield a Keyblade to Riku back when he was very young. And so Riku was the one that was destined to wield the Kingdom Key until darkness overtook him and sent him to Hollow Bastion. So the Keyblade went on to his second choice in the nearby area, that being Sora. Sora was only able to wield the Kingdom Key throughout most of Cage 1 because he had Ventus's heart within him. So that allowed him to wield the Kingdom Key, but until Riku decided to take it back in Cage 1 Hollow Bastion, and then Donald and Goofy leave Sora. But then Sora proves through his journey and all the people that he's met that his heart is strong through the people that he has met, just like they pointed out in this scene right here, thus giving him the power and worthiness to wield the Keyblade and make the Kingdom Key his own. His heart was stronger than Riku's in that moment. So, yeah. Sora was not a destined child. He's not some kind of prodigy or anything like that. He's just a kid that's very empathetic and has a very open heart. So, and he's able to make connections and, like, you know, be friends with people. And that is what gives him his strength. It's also a detriment, as we see in Kingdom Hearts 3 later, when his friends die in front of him to that wave of darkness, like tornado shadow storm thing. And, you know, he falls to his knees and he basically says he's worthless without his friends. So it also could be turned into a character flaw as well. It's both a strength and a weakness. But that's something Sora has to explore, his own self-worth, and hopefully we'll see more of that in Kingdom Hearts 4. But until then, you know, right here in this moment, is used as a strength to be able to stand up against Xemnas and Xigbar and the true organization right here.
Those are just words. You've lost. Fine. See where your power gets you here. Xemnas! He's all yours!
Alright, so we have the boss fight coming up. Before I skip ahead to the next cutscene, give a big shout out to Boss Fight Database right here. Big shout out to them, link in the description, because I'm using their video to react to everything that's happening right now. So we're just going to skip past this part because it's going to transition right into the boss fight. So let's just go right here after Sora defeats Xemnas. So Sora was fighting so long in the dream that the darkness in his heart has started to take him over. Like, not really take him over, but like weaken him. and get him kind of stuck. Young Xehanort's about to explain it.
You... again.
You just make it too easy. I know you think you've won, but you lost the moment you dived this far in. You're in the deepest pit of slumber, and you've worn yourself down to nothing.
Exactly. Like, Xemnas and, you know, the fact that he's in double sleep and chasing his dreams this far in, chasing the darkness that and the pain and the trauma that reside within those dreams, you know, like with with Roxas, Xion, and Ventus, the pain they feel, Sora's own pain added on top of that, and having to deal with adversaries like Xemnas and the other Dream Eaters and Nightmares and everything like that. Like young Xehanort says, after that, there is no returning to the world above, at least without some assistance in the power of waking Riku uses later at the end of the game.
There's no returning to the world above.
What do you mean?
We told you. It was not the sleeping keyholes that guided you. They are not the reason you are here. You've been on a path, one we laid out for you.
And the reason why they knew about that path and why they knew everything that was going to happen is because it was etched into Xehanort's heart, and Xehanort, after dying as Xemnas and Ansem the Seeker of Darkness, returned to his original form in order to, you know, lead to everything that's about to happen here in the big throne room, and have his past self come up here and just send Sora down this path and everything like that, all the way down into double slumber, bringing him into darkness and letting him slumber within it. It sounds very complicated, but all of this is because young Xehanort traveled to this time period because Ansem the Seeker of Darkness, you know, went to the Destiny Islands, contacted him, brought him to the future to do the events of this game and everything like that. And, yeah, you know, sent his heart into the future, sent it back to the past, and etched his past onto his heart so that he can become so many others.
That sigil on your chest is the proof.
And the, hold on. They're about to say it.
What?
See, that sigil, the X, it tells us where you are at all times. You had wondered aloud before why we kept showing up where you were. It's because we need you, Sora.
So the sigil on Sora's chest is the recusant sigil. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's essentially the X Xehanort uses to mark other people, kind of. He did it with several of the organization members back in like KH2 and 358. So notice how when they became Nobodies, their name became abbreviated and added the letter X. That's the recusant sigil right there. And he essentially uses that to basically do what the young Xehanort just mentioned. Track them down, keep tabs on them, and everything like that, you know? So once Ansem the Seeker of Darkness, because, you know, he was a heart at the time and he was on Destiny Islands during the events of KH1, intercepted Sora and Riku at the beginning of their Mark of Mastery exam in the sleeping world in the past and everything like that. He intercepted them and sent Sora and Riku down on their path. They changed Sora's outfit into this outfit right here and added the sigil on top of it. And then for Riku, I believe his outfit changed because he became a Dream Eater for Sora to protect him from the nightmares and everything like that. That's an entirely different story, by the way. Quite literally in this game. But, you know, it's very interesting how, basically, the moment you defeated Phantom Ursula, you were basically playing into their game the entire time.
Or, to be more precise, we need what will be left of you.
The husk after Sora goes to sleep in darkness and everything. Xehanort will put his heart, a piece of his heart, his essence into Sora, thus making him another vessel.
The 13th Dark Vessel.
Why...
Why was it assured you would come here today?
Here we go.
Because I followed my destined path,
That was etched into his heart after he time traveled and everything.
and I'm here looking at you right now. You can move through time, but time itself is immovable.
That is until you abuse the power of waking, but that's a taboo, and that's what Sora does in Kingdom Hearts 3, thus creating another timeline. So that's an entirely different story. But Xehanort is properly following the rules of time travel, albeit through, like, some very fucking, like, a lot of technicalities, like through his heartless virgins, nobody virgins, Nording other virgins to ensure that there's another version of himself there that he can travel to. It is very elaborate, but Xehanort is technically following the rules of time travel, whereas you need to send your heart to a point in time to where there's another version of yourself. Since he like set up all of that stuff, all the different versions of himself, there's like a ton of versions for him to choose from to travel to. Whereas Sora, in Kingdom Hearts 3, kind of breaks the rules of time travel by using the power of waking. So, we all know what happens to him at the end of that game, and we'll see what happens to him after that in Cage 4. So, let's see where that leads.
Today, all of my selves throughout time were meant to gather here. And to welcome you, Sora, as our 13th member. These facts cannot be changed.
What's gonna happen?
I have now told you all that I know. We are all here, and what the future holds in store is beyond my sight.
Yeah, that's pretty much it right there. After this is everything that happens after this scene right here is outside of Xehanort's control. No longer part of his destined paths or his plan. Anything, literally anything, could happen after this, as far as Xehanort is aware. Thus, the end game of Dream Drop, and all of the events of Kingdom Hearts 3 and post Cage 3. So, everything is beyond his sight after this point.
I will return to my own time and grow into the man who becomes all these others.
Yep.
While I know this future now that I have lived it, returning to my own time will erase the memories and experiences I have gained here. Still, my appointed path is now etched in my heart.
So he will have a feeling of what to do. He will be like, I need to go pursue balance. I will need to Nort Terra. I will need to find Vanitas. I will need to take Inventus as a student. I will need to do all these different things. I'll need to start the organization. I'll need to become Ansem the Seeker of Darkness and Xemnas to send, Ansem to the past and everything to go make sure the timeline lines up and all that jazz. So then Ansem can send young Xehanort to the future and, be there on Destiny Island so then he can intercept Sora and Riku later at the beginning of this game. It is all so elaborate, but yet he will forget everything that's happening here, but his heart will not. Thus setting up the entire events of most of the Xehanort saga. Very elaborate.
Which will first lead me to seek the outside world.
Riku.
Very interesting thing there. This one is more speculation than anything else. Of course, Sora's calling to Riku because he needs help and everything like that. But, young Xehanort just said, my heart will tell me to want to seek the outside world beyond Destiny Islands, right? Because he's like, this world is just too small. Just like how Riku was acting at the beginning of Cage 1 and as a child in BBS and everything. He'll want to seek the outside world just like Xehanort. There's actually a lot of parallels between Riku and Xehanort throughout the series that don't really get brought up that often. But it's very cool to see them. So Xehanort saying that might have reminded Sora of Riku. That or Sora's just in trouble and he just wants Riku's help. Either one's valid. I just think it's cool.
Your heart will sleep forever in the folds of darkness.
Again, because Sora doesn't have any tolerance to darkness, unlike Riku, who developed it over time. Sora, he literally is just the pure light boy, you know? He has some darkness within him that he can unleash into, but anytime he does, it kind of overwhelms him. Take Anti-Form from Kingdom Hearts 2, for example. Even though it's not really acknowledged in the story, it's more so in the gameplay, that is apparently like Sora's darkness that he can just unleash into from like rage and his feelings and everything. So, yeah, and also like Rage Form in Kingdom Hearts 3. Sora does not have control over his darkness because he doesn't know how to. He's never needed to be, but thus leaving him vulnerable to darkness overtaking him through his pain and trauma and the pain and trauma of the others that reside within his heart. Again, Roxas, Xion, Ventus. Thus allowing him to become the perfect vessel for Xehanort to put his heart into, completing his 13s. That is until Riku and the others foil his plans by the end of this game.
Your body will be another vessel for me. So light gives way to darkness. Good night, Sora.
And just like that, I could also say, good night, everyone. This was my breakdown of the Xemnas cutscene from Dream Drop Distance. If I was incorrect about anything I said, or do you have further questions about anything I've gone over in my analysis of this scene, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to correct myself. I'll be happy to add more details and everything like that. But I'll also be happy to answer questions too. But with all that said, you know, if you have any other Kingdom Hearts questions, or questions about the lore, or requests for videos involving Kingdom Hearts or anything like that, please let me know down below. I love making Kingdom Hearts content, and I would love to answer any questions that you guys have. Anyways, I hope you guys... I haven't done a YouTube outro in a while. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss the next one. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, Meister out.